Hello everyone, welcome back to Log of Dragonite here, and today is going to be part 1 to What If Naruto Was Trained by Ghost. Let's kick the story off. The events of the actual anime go along all the way to the day Naruto failed the academy the second time. And Naruto, not feeling so hot, decides to head to the place where he goes to clear his mind. Now, he's not noticing that there's someone following him, this being Hinata, but she doesn't know that someone is actually watching Naruto as well. After the person watches them for a few minutes, he body flickers to the third Hokage, and the third Hokage is shocked to see this person because he thought this person was a myth told to him by his students. And Hiruzen goes, "Who are you?" And the person simply just sits down, and he's wearing a fox mask, if anyone's wondering why. He's not giving a physical description, but you can tell he has red hair and silver eyes. "It's been a while, old Saru. I see you're doing well." Well, Hiruzen goes, "For you to call me that, you must be a former member of the village." And the person says, "Former member of the village? No." "Oh, former ally who thought to be killed in action? Yes." Hiruzen goes, "And who is that? And so what should I call you?" And the person says, "Call me Ghost." And Hiruzen goes, "Alright, what are you here for?" Ghost said, "I would like to take Naruto Uzumaki and Naruto Uzumaki on a training trip this summer. Just me and him, outside the village walls, where he can't be affected by the village." And the third Hokage says, "What do you mean affected by the village?" Ghost simply takes out a scroll, sees a few documents, hands them to the professor, and the silent professor reads them. And the third Hokage's anger is just growing and growing into the point where he looked like he was about to go literally Super Saiyan with anger. Anyway, Hiruzen says, "A crest approved." And Ghost nods, and Ghost said, "I will be telling the boy about his parents. However, there's something else you must know." Hiruzen goes, "And what would that be?" "I am giving him two gifts. One is myself in spirit form as a mentor and guide. Teaching him, essentially. And only those people that I let see me. Yeah." And Hiruzen nods, saying, "Okay, any other gift?" "I was going to give him his Uzumaki heritage that he deserves." And the feds was about to say something, said, you can't give him the Namikaze stuff, but you could still have given him the Uzumaki stuff. He deserves at least that much, given the fact that he's practically of royal descent of the Uzumaki clan." Hiruzen nods, says, "When do you plan on leaving?" And Ghost said, "I'm actually planning after this to go meet up with him and take him out of the village and do our training there. Yeah, we'll be in a very secluded spot. No one can spy on us." Hiruzen nods and say, "You may go." Now after Ghost leaves, Ghost calls two of his most trusted Anbu, Tora and Neko, says, "Summon the council. I have urgent matters to discuss." They both bow, say, "Yes, Lord Hokage," and disperse. Now over where Naruto is he's sitting on the fourth Hokage head, bummed out that he didn't pass, and then all of a sudden he hears a voice from behind him saying, "Beautiful, isn't it?" He turns and sees Ghost. Ghost is wearing almost style clothing, but he's also wearing a necklace for the symbols of yin yang. And Naruto says, "Yeah, Mr." And Ghost just says, "Call me Ghost, Naruto." And Naruto tenses up and says, "How do you know my name?" And Ghost says, "Well, I kind of have to know your name if I'm supposed to be training you for the summer." And Naruto goes white and saying, "You're going to be training me for the summer?" And Ghost nods. heads. Ghost sits down next to Naruto, saying, we're gonna leave in a few hours. To a very secluded training spot. One that only I, and after you complete the training there, you will have access to that location. Ghost said. Naruto goes, alright, but why? And Ghost said, Naruto, oh, you notice how people were basically all that stuff, glaring at you and such. Naruto nods. Ghost said, on the day of your birth, according to the history, the fourth Kage fought the Kyuubi and defeated it. However, you can't kill a tailed beast. Besides, if you even do manage to kill it, in 9 years its chakra will reform somewhere else within its territory. Naruto goes wide-eyed and say, so if the tailed beast was still alive, he would have attacked when you were 9, Ghost said, confirming Naruto's suspicion. And Naruto said, can we get to it? And Ghost said, go to your apartment and pack all your personal belongings. Besides, the reason is because when we come back, you were getting a new place to live. If Naruto nods, and he heads back to his apartment to get packing, and before he goes, Ghost gave him a few scrolls to store his stuff in. Ghost quickly goes into town and buys about 1,000 shuriken, 100 shuriken, 200 senbones, about 500 empty seals, and about 1,000 spare ink. Even buys about 200 wooden katanas for practice. Now, Tenten was wide-eyed when she sees his purchase. Like, she's just a fresh getting, but her team has to wait to meet their sensei. So, she says, you sure that's all? And Ghost says, oh, one more thing. Ghost goes to the clothes section, gets out a very interesting looking uniform. And Tenten's dad, who was in the back, heard Tenten ask the customer, are you sure you're going to buy all that? He goes and sees the man and bring up the clothes forward. And Ghost said, I would like to buy this as well. And on top of it as well was a special kunai and shuriken pack as well. Tenten calculates all together and says, the total will be 3,000 ryu. Ghost simply takes it out and pays 10,000 ryu. And Tenten goes, that's 10,000 too much. And this is when Tensei says, Tenten, you didn't notice that there was other items on there. And Tenten looks down and she sees the wooden katanas. You see, she didn't before. He said, oh, okay, Tosan. And Ghost said, thank you. He pays it all up. Next up, and goes back for Tenten. He is, alright, now that that's gone, I need to pick up the library for the necessary books for Naruto. Oh, should be easier since I won't be denied access like he was. Now this got Tenten thinking. Now, as Ghost goes to the library to pick up needed books for Naruto, Tenten actually meets with her teammates Rock Lee and Neji Hyuga. And they actually talk with each other. And Tenten tells them like what she overheard, and Neji, who's considered a prodigy, and Lee are disturbed by the fact that Naruto couldn't exactly get into the library for some bogus reason. And Neji saying, I know I believe in fate, but even I believe that everyone should have equal access to knowledge. Now, after Ghost gets into say stuff, he meets Naruto at the gate, and they head out. They go to a very secluded spot within the realm of fire. Ghost was able to get them pretty quick. Ghost flashes her hand signs, and you just see what looks like a tear in reality. And Ghost said, shall we? Naruto nods. They walk through. And Naruto looks at this place. He's in awe. And Ghost says, allow me to introduce you a technique I created, Time Chamber Jutsu. Naruto said, But what's the technique used for? Well, Naruto, depending on how much chocolate you put into it, they can make it as little as 1 day on the outside equals a week, or the longest that I have gone on without exhausting myself would have to be 6 months. Though if you power the technique, you probably could do 2 years, Ghost said. And Naruto goes right at saying, 2 years in 1 day of training? Ghost nods, and Ghost escorts Naruto to where they will be staying inside that room, in the chamber. And Naruto is amazed at the beauty of the chamber. There's livers, rakes, trees, mountains. Heck, there's abundance of animals and vegetation. He says, how is this possible? Ghost says simply, when I was trying to create a jutsu to train in secret so no one could steal my techniques when I was younger, I made this by accident. Took me a while to perfect it, but I was able to. And this is one of the many techniques I've been willing to teach to you, Naruto, to train. And Naruto just is giddy at the prospect of being able to train to use this technique. And Ghost said, alright, Naruto. First things first, I must tell you who your mother is. Naruto goes wide-eyed and says, you know my mother? And Ghost nods. And Ghost said, before I do, I need to explain something. I am technically a spirit of the ancient past who was supposed to protect members of your mother's clan, the Uzumaki clan. However, just as I was about to go off to go with your mother to protect her, I was sealed away. It was only on the night, the day before the Nine-Tails attack I was able to break free from the seal and able to get to where your mother is. And this then explains that the whole thing with the council caused him to stay away. And Naruto forgives Ghost. Ghost said, now then. Ghost simply has the seal in his hand, slaps Naruto in the stomach, and Naruto goes unconscious. Into Naruto's mindscape, we see Naruto at the brigades looking up the Nine-Tails. Nine-Tails was to say, what are you doing here, brat? And before Naruto responded, Ghost said, Kurama, still have that snarky attitude, I see. Both Kurama and Naruto turn and see Ghost leaning against one of the walls. Kurama goes right in saying, Ghost? You old rascal, you're still alive? And of course this gives Ghost a tick mark saying, Hey, I'm only 20 years old, Ghost complained. And Kurama said, yeah, more like 2,000 years old. Ghost said, saying, Kurama, why are you that size? When Ghost notices Kurama's size, Kurama says, when I was sealed in the kid, I was split into yin and yang. Ghost said, that's okay. I can fix that. Ghost snaps his fingers. And you just see Kurama's other half goes, and before they can merge, Ghost said, now we need to take care of one business. Naruto, please get it into the lotus position, which is the position I am right now. Naruto does, and Ghost looks at Kurama saying, you too. Ghost stands between them and flashes through hand signs. Now, I'm not going to give a name for this technique because only Ghost can perform it. Then he holds out his arms in directions of both Naruto and Kurama, and you see, like, the evilness in their hearts basically just come out and go torn them off, puts them together, and then just... And Naruto says, did you just... Kurama said, kid, don't even ask. And Ghost said, now that that's taken care of, the two halves of the Nine-Tails come together, getting the full Nine-Tails. They go out of the mindscape, and Ghost first teaches Naruto the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto, because of the whole thing with Kurama and the fact that his evil self and Kuroma's evil self are no longer existing, Naruto was actually able to do the Shadow Clones within 30 minutes. Ghost said, alright. Ghost makes about 20 Shadow Clones, and Naruto makes 2,000 Shadow Clones. And in a group of 100 go off with each Shadow Clone, doing different things. But I'll tell you what 6 of them are supposed to do. One is supposed to do chakra control. One is supposed to do kunai and shuriken throwing. Group 2 is supposed to learn freeing jutsu. Group 3 is reading books, history, all that stuff, getting up on the knowledge. 4 is simple taijutsu spar. Now, before they did this, that group did taijutsu. Ghost gave Naruto the scroll for the whirlpool fist and explained that this was your mother's taijutsu style. And seeing as you took your mother's last name, it's only right that you take your clan's taijutsu style. Naruto nods, and his clones begin practicing the whirlpool fist. And Ghost said, and you know what the best part about that style is? And Naruto goes, what? That style and the other two styles I'm teaching you cannot be copied by anyone. Not even the Sharingan. Of course, Naruto understands what the Sharingan is. Now, the next group, Ghost put that group to go focus on meditation, that stuff, in order to help with his control. Now, the final group, before the other 15, the other groups that Naruto made go off to do their specific job, Ghost gave Naruto specific scrolls to learn. The hands and substitution Naruto already knew. The mystic palm technique, the body flicker, and then chakra absorption jutsu, poison mist jutsu, and size changing jutsu. And that's when he notices that there are other clone jutsus. And Ghost said, you're not going to learn those clone jutsus until after you get your chakra control up. Naruto nods. So, for the next month, on the outside, Naruto is just having his clones focus on all that, while his clones, ones that I didn't mention, all focus on the 3 exercises needed for those ninja. The leaf balancing, tree walking, and water walking. After that 1 month, Ghost deems Naruto fit and ready. So, the rest of the jutsu that he didn't give Naruto are these. He gave Naruto the scroll for the Rasengan. Now, Naruto can't make a complete Rasengan yet. However, he can make a subversion of it, the Tornado Rasengan, with only one hand. And Naruto, Ghost also taught Naruto Mituric regeneration. When Naruto asked why, Ghost said, because of how much chakra you absorb, Naruto, imagine a mark that lets you, it speeds up your healing, but also use it with the Mystic Palm technique. You can heal your comrades of their wounds. And, of course, Naruto was giddy about this. Now, here comes the clone jutsus. Great Clone Explosion. A very devastating attack. A wind clone, water clone, fire clone, earth clone, and lightning clone jutsus. When Naruto asked about these, Ghost said, oh, that reminds me. Let's see what your chakra natures are. And of course he gives Naruto a chakra paper. And this is when things get interesting. The paper splits into 5 pieces. 1 piece completely damps. A second piece completely burns. Third piece crumbles. Third piece the next piece freezes, and the final piece, oh boy, that piece just turned straight back into wood. And Naruto goes wide-eyed, and Ghost said, I figured once we fixed the problem with your seal, you could have gotten your parents' elements, maybe even Kuroma's, but sub-elements? Well, looks like you're going to be busy, my friend. And of course, this is when things get interesting for Naruto. Ghost gives Naruto the objective of using his clones. At this point, Naruto's control is down to where he can make 5,000 shadow clones. Now, since shadow clones can't do physical activities and that stuff, Naruto is training with weights on. But these are the special kind of weights. These are chakra weights. And each have a level. Level 1, different levels have different weights. So, Ghost put 2 things on Naruto. the chakra weight seals that Naruto can just cut the chakra off to make it go 10 them off, and the restriction seals. Basically, each higher of restriction means more speed and agility. Now, while they're doing that, Naruto learns a lot about the clan's history of Konoha. In fact, you could say that he is the smartest person of the Leaf now, because that's when Ghost discovered that Naruto actually had a photographic memory, as well as Naruto seems to have a very amazing skill with Fling Jutsu. Now, Ghost doesn't mean to toot his horn, but he himself is a level 15 Seal Master. And since Ghost is not an Uzumaki, that's kind of an achievement. Anyway, Ghost gives Naruto scrolls for Jutsu. Now, I'm gonna read all the techniques for wind and water. I'm gonna keep fire, earth, wood, and ice a secret for now. But I will tell his genjutsu and taijutsu styles. Alright. Here are the Winjutsu Naruto's clones learn after they fully master the wind and water exercises. First up, wind. Wind bullet, gale palm, great breakthrough, wind dome, vacuum bullets, great breach, dust storm, wind blade, pressure damage, piercing spear, wind tornado, wind dragon. Again. Wind buster, wind shuriken, air blade, pressurized wind bomb, wind wave, wind star, wind barrier, and slicing sound wave. After Naruto learned all this Winjutsu, Ghost made a comment to Naruto. You know, Naruto, it's only been about a month and a half since we did all this training, yet you are considering your fields at the moment. Ninjutsu, you are low joning at this moment. Fuinjutsu, you are high joning at that. Kenjutsu, Ghost said as he goes back, remembering how all the Naruto's trained in the unique sword style of the Uzumaki clan. I want to put at Kage level, because you seem finesse. Naruto nod. Odd. Now, Naruto, because he's also using his clones as well to get more stronger, but Ghost actually did something to Naruto. He put a 5-pronged steel on Naruto's stomach, and he explained to both Naruto and Chroma beforehand that I will take it off when we get back to the Leaf. And Ghost explains that this will help Naruto's control become near perfect at the end of it all. And of course, Kurama can actually still talk to Naruto, but he can't actually send him chakra because of the seal. Now, Naruto, at this point, the amount of clones he can make drops to 1,000. And I say, send 800 to do the chakra exercises. He says, but have the remaining 200 focus on these genjutsu I gave you. Naruto picks up the genjutsu scroll that Ghost gave him, and here are the 6 genjutsu that are in there. Bringer of Darkness, Hellfire Technique, Tree Binding Death, False Surroundings, Double False Surroundings, Silent Emptiness. Yes. Which is a genjutsu that affects the hearing. Now, when Naruto's doing that, we get to water. And here's the water techniques he learned. Water bullet, water wall, ripping torrent, shock. Not this time. Waterfall, water prison, water dragon, water barrier, bite, explosive bite of the water dragon, water needle, water snake, water shuriken, water whip, exploding water wave, great exploding water wave, waterfall vortex, and slashing wave. Now, Ghost is pretty proud of Naruto for mastering these and the genjutsu, as well as the taijutsu. Ghost said, unfortunately, Naruto, time has come to an end. Naruto nods. And then Ghost said, but we still have a week, so we can get back to the Leaf, get you a new place to look out. Who knows, maybe we can finally get you and Hinata together, huh? And Naruto Bless saying, Ghost, and Ghost said, what? Hinata's practically head over heels for you. If you were too focused on Sakura, you wouldn't notice her. Of course, this gets Naruto thinking, and he knows now that he should pay more attention to Hinata. Now, since the Ghost helped, Naruto's more calm, respectable, or very, very paying attention to detail. Ghost also taught him how to break any genjutsu, no matter how strong. Of course, S-rank genjutsu like Tsukuyomi would be tough enough to break. Now, before they leave, Ghost says, make as many clones as you can. Naruto goes, Shadow Clone Jutsu! And with the fine point seal on him, he's able to make 5,000 clones again. And Ghost said, alright. Wait. And Ghost opens up, reveals a building. And Ghost said, in here you'll find all the jutsu for your elements, as well as different books necessary. I want you all to read and practice this. They nod. Ghost takes Naruto out of there, but not before giving Naruto the key, the jutsu, to go into the chamber and out. Now Naruto is happy that he has a training place that he can go to train without any interruptions. And as they're walking back to the village, Naruto said, Ghost Sensei. Ghost looks at Naruto and says, yes, Naruto? So, at this point, Ghost was revealed the genjutsu, which was his mask that revealed his red hair and silver eyes. Well, I was wondering, since I've gotten very good with the sword, arts of sword, and shield master, what would you rate me as? And Ghost puts his 10 cents, well, honestly, at the moment, I can say for certain, Naruto, your skill with shields has only been seen by a few other people. In fact, at the moment, you're currently at your mother's seal level when she was 18. And notice what seal level was that? Level for 11. Naruto nods and said, your skill with the sword, however, you are just as good as your mother, and she was considered a master of the sword. And that reminds me, Ghost takes the scroll from his pocket, puts it down on the ground for Naruto. Naruto channels chakra to it, and that's when he sees a sword. And Naruto is in mind the beauty of the blade. This sword is unlike any sword Naruto's seen, for two reasons. One, the sword literally looks like a living rainbow. And two, the sword is bonded, is filled with Naruto's chakra. And Naruto looks up, and Ghost explains, ever since you were born, whenever no one will notice, I would always take a bit of your chakra, at least once a month, from when you were a baby all the way to when you were 11, and getting this, filling the metal with your chakra, so that way no one can use your sword but you. So Naruto picks up the sword and is amazed by the sword and does a few practice swings. And Naruto goes, thanks, Sensei. Okay? And Naruto has a little bit of tears in his eyes because he had no one besides the third Hokage, Aime and her father, and Hinata and Iruka to be supportive of him. And Ghost just ruffles his head and saying, no problem, kid. By the way, the name of this, the sword's owner, you get to name it. And Naruto says, I'll call it Entra, which, translated from Japanese, means elemental. Now they get back to the village, and during that time that they were gone training, the village changed completely. Civilian council, yeah, they lost about 85% of their power. Danzo and his men lost a lot of their mojo. And the other councils, the Shinobi Council getting a lot more stuff. And when they asked what brought this on, Hiruzen simply handed them the files that Ghost gave him. And I'll put it this way, even Danzo was sick of what the Civilian Council was doing, siphoning up money from the village. Yeah, because of that, approximately 4 members of the council, because of their crime, were executed. 6 more members were imprisoned for a term about 3 years. The rest of them were given warnings to not mess with them. And also, Hiruzen points out the fact that Naruto knows his heritage and reveals who Naruto's mother was, Kushina Uzumaki. Of course, this makes the villain go wide-eyed that they were treating the son of one of their heroes like crap. So the heat on Naruto died down a lot. Now Naruto and Ghost get back. They go straight to the Hokage's office, and they see Hokage furiously writing, saying, "Seriously, see, curse this paperwork." And Ghost just coughs in this thing, and Naruto and Hiruzen goes up saying, "Ghost, Naruto, welcome back from your training trip." Yep. And Ghost just smiles, saying, "Well, what can I say? This boy, under the right circumstances, if he had a proper teacher, could even be stronger than, you, old man." And Hiruzen goes right in, saying, "Do tell." "Oh, how would you..." And, well, Naruto, it's Ghost. Naruto talks about the training that Ghost had him go under, the physical exercises and all this stuff. Now, the restriction seal on Naruto is level 6, resistance seal. And the restriction seal has about 50 levels. I'll put it this way. If Rock Lee had the restriction seal on his body with his weights and took them both off, by the first gate, he could have probably been fastest guy in the 4th gate. If that paints a picture for anyone else. Anyway, Hiruzen says, "So how would you rate his skills?" And Ghost said, "In ninjutsu, I put him at high joning level. In genjutsu, I have to put him at regular tuning level. Taijutsu, that has yet to be determined, because he's only been sparring with his clones and my clones, so I don't know good stuff. Besides, his 3 styles are unique to him and him alone." Hiruzen nods. He said, medical ninjutsu, I'd have to give that a solid 5. I've about low joning level. And Hiruzen goes right out saying, "You were able to get his control up till we can use medical ninjutsu." And the reason that's surprising is because you need to have either near or complete perfect control of chakra. Ghost nods, says, "Not only that, but with the kid's elements, it's hardly a surprise." And Hiruzen goes, "How many elements does he have?" Ghost just smiles, says, 6, old man. And Hiruzen jaws just dropped. And said, "Also is the fact that Naruto signed the summoning contract for his 2 clans." And Hiruzen goes right ahead and says, "You told him about his parents?" And Ghost said, "I only told him about his father. About his mother. You can tell him about his father." Hiruzen nods, and Hiruzen reveals to Naruto who his father was. And Naruto said, "Well, we can reveal my name when I become at the tuning exams." Hiruzen nods. And the tuning exams are not going to be for a while. So, Hiruzen asks, "So what are these 2 contracts?" "Well, for the Uzumaki clan," Ghost said, "is the canine contract. To summon any type of canine. And for the Namikaze contract, well, I admit, when I found the contract for that clan, I was surprised what it was." And Hiruzen goes, "And what was that?" "The feline contract. Any cat member of the cat family Naruto can summon. In fact, I even found a history record going back 200 years to a point where the only person at the time who had that, a female Namikaze, actually summoned the 2-tailed cat spirit." Now this, both Hiruzen and Naruto go wide at, and Ghost said, "It doesn't mention anything other than that." And Hiruzen nods. And Ghost said, "As well, Naruto and the QB have become good friends." And Hiruzen knows God-eyed, and Ghost said, "I saw the QB's memories, and it looks like someone controlled him, Lord Hokage." And Hiruzen and Ghost gave him a report on what he learned. Ghost nods, and Naruto said, "I trust Kuroma like he's my best friend. Besides," Naruto said with a grin, "we're technically siblings after all." Well, just in the third Kage's brother asked, I coughed and said, the tailed beasts were the first children of the 66 paths, and then his two biological children, Indra Otsutsuki, Ashura Otsutsuki, were born. Indra was the founding father of the Uchiha clan, while Ashura was the founding father of the Senju and Uzumaki clan. Then years later, the Senju gave rise to all the clans that we know of today. And of course, Hiruzen nods, given the fact that the nickname of the Senju clan is a clan of 1,000 skills. Anyway, Hiruzen goes, then I guess it's safe for him to get his inheritance. Hence, Ghost nods, and Hiruzen gives Naruto the scrolls and letters from his parents. And Ghost said, we also will be moving him into the Uzumaki compound. And Ghost nods, saying, well, it looks like I have to go back to the seal, Naruto. And Ghost just pops. And Hiruzen goes, what do you mean seal? And Naruto explains who Ghost was and what his sacred duty is. And Hiruzen is in awe of the fact that this ancient protector is alive in modern day. And Hiruzen goes, alright, Naruto. Oh, head back. Naruto heads back. And when people see him, they are shocked at his appearance. It's completely changed. Now, how has it changed? Well, picture Minato Namikaze in the academy. He switched what he was wearing with red, blue, and black pants for Naruto, which was impressive that Naruto can pull it off. Walking away, he sees Hinata at Ichiraku Ramen. He gets ramen, chatted with Hinata, catching up. Then Naruto heads back to where the clan compound is before it gets late, and the clan compound is in an amazing condition. Like, it's not worn down or anything. Naruto bites his thumb, wipes the gate, opens it, and it goes inside. Not noticing that he was being watched by a member of Root, but before the Root could go to Rodanzo, all of a sudden you see him restrained. And that's when you hear a voice go, oh, interesting. And then the Root member fell dead. And they revealed a man with glasses. And he said, very interesting, as he watched the gates closed. Naruto goes inside, he sees his clones to fix up the inside of it. Sees that he has a forge, a library, right? A lot of training grounds, a lot of bedrooms, even has a pool and a hot tub, and a kitchen. Now Naruto relaxes and then takes the rest of the week off. Then he goes back to the academy starting on Monday. And with this, guys, I'm going to end the video here. But a few things. First, guys, please do not ask personal questions to me in the comments, because I feel uncomfortable answering them. 2, the like goal for this video is 4. If we can get to that in a quick, I can make part 2 of this is what if immediately. And 3, I will leave a question in the comments for you guys that pertains to how teams are going to be for this what if. Anyway, I will see you guys later.